A 6-hour standoff in Magalia comes to an end with a suspect in custody, but not before he allegedly fired more than 15 rounds at officers.
Butte County Sheriff's deputies were serving an eviction notice at the home on Temple Circle this morning, and they say the owner, Howard Adams, refused to come out. Deputies then tried to break into the home, and when they did, they found Adams armed with a shotgun. Deputies backed away and called in the SWAT team. 2 rounds of tear gas were fired into the residence during the standoff.
We deployed an amount of gas into the residence and basically pushed him from inside the residence to another area.
Adams was arrested near the garage just before 3 o'clock. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. There were reports that Adams' wife had recently passed away and that his home had gone into foreclosure, but we have yet to confirm that. Anderson police arrested a Reading man this afternoon after a chase that ended on the roof of a house. Officers responded to a report of a suspicious person on Davy Lane just after 8 this morning. The suspect, 27-year-old Juan Garcia, was later located by police at the Anderson River Park, but took off on a bike when he saw officers. Garcia is accused of stealing an ATV from a residence off Rupert Road while being pursued by officers, but ran off on foot after crashing into a barbed wire fence. He crawled into the attic of the residence in the area, but eventually surrendered to police after making his way onto the roof. Garcia was booked into the Shasta County Jail on a parole hold.
Today was the grand opening of the long-awaited Shasta Family Justice Center. Action News reporter Elizabeth Gadley was at the ribbon cutting and has more on what the center is all about. Elizabeth.
Kira, more than 100 people showed up to see the Shasta Family Justice Center officially open. Now, the center is one of 66 set up across the nation. Each has the same goal, helping victims of domestic violence. A far cry from a life of abuse, the new Shasta Family Justice Center offers victims of family violence a warm, welcoming environment. More importantly, the center has everything a victim needs to start a new life.
What we are is we're a one-stop shop for victims of family violence. That's domestic violence, sexual assault, elder abuse, and child abuse.
In the past, victims had to go to as many as 16 different agencies to get the services they needed.
Victims become discouraged. They're already having to deal with the trauma of being a victim. And then to have to fight government or nonprofit agencies and search them out to find those services causes many of the victims to give up. And that means they go back to abusers.
Now they can find everything under one roof, including police, legal services, even food, clothing, and shelter. The Justice Center doesn't replace any of the agencies. It just brings them together in a safe place.
This is a very comfortable, safe environment. You notice that the interview rooms are set up to be living rooms. The center is very purposely put together.
It's taken a lot to get the center up and running, and Executive Director Mike Burke says it wouldn't have been possible without the community.
The program is primarily grant-driven and donation-driven. We don't take money from the federal government. We don't take money from the county. We don't take money from the city.
Shasta County District Attorney Jerry Benito says now that the center is open, it's important to get the word out to people in need.
Victims of violent crime, come to the center. We're here to help you. We will provide the services that you need to move on with your life and get away from that violence.
The phone lines will open tomorrow. If you've been the victim of family violence or if you want to donate to the new center, you can call 243-8863. Live in the Reading Broadcast Center, I'm Elizabeth Gadley for Action News.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Voters in cash-strapped Modoc County have approved a $195 a year parcel tax to keep their struggling hospital. The hospital's operating costs have overwhelmed county finances. The vote could clear the way for a $12.5 million loan from the state, which would help the county avoid bankruptcy. State officials are considering the request, but the tax could help the county prove they could repay the loan.
California lawmakers have rejected a bill to ban plastic shopping bags after a contentious debate over whether the state was going too far in trying to regulate personal choice. It would have been the nation's first statewide ban, although several cities already prohibit the use of plastic bags. The plastic bag manufacturing industry launched a furious lobbying campaign against this bill, calling it a job killer. The owner of Chico Bag lobbied hard for the ban and is disappointed by its failure. Chico Bag is an industry leader in producing compact, reusable bags. Company officials tell Action News it's more about helping the environment than helping business.
Well, I think anything that is designed for single use, something that's designed to live for maybe, or to work for us for maybe 1 or 2 minutes, but to stay in our ecosystem for 1,000 years, it probably isn't, a product that we should really be focusing on keeping around.
Owner Andy Keller created the Bag Monster costume you see on your screen there. It's made out of 500 to 700 single-use plastic bags. That's how many the average American uses in 1 year. Keller is touring the country right now, sharing his Bag Monster message about how bad they are for the environment.
The state Senate has defeated a bill that would have banned the chemical bisphenol A from plastic baby bottles, sippy cups, and baby formula containers. The bill would have limited the chemical to trace amounts in food and drink containers intended for use by children aged 3 or younger. The chemical has been commonly used to line food cans and make plastics shatterproof. State lawmakers have also rejected a bill that would have made it illegal to carry unloaded guns in public. The Senate approved the measure yesterday, but it failed in the Assembly. The bill would have made it a misdemeanor to openly carry a handgun in a public place. Current California law permits carrying a rifle or a handgun in a holster if it's unloaded.
California would delay kindergarten for thousands of youngsters under a bill approved by the state Senate. The bill, which now heads to the governor, would require children to have turned 5 by September 1st in order to begin kindergarten in that school year. The current cutoff date is December 2nd. Officials say the bill could save the state about $700 million per year by cutting enrollment. And if signed, this bill would be phased in over the next 3 years, or over 3 years rather, starting in the 2012 to 2013 school year.
1 year ago, Chico State students and teachers were preparing for the first of 6 furlough days that closed campus. As Action News reporter Brian Callahan shows us, school officials are doing everything they can to keep furloughs off the schedule this year.
Well, I think the faculty are happy not to have the chaos of furloughs. It was chaotic in the classroom. It was chaotic for the students.
After taking a 10% pay cut through furloughs last year, most teachers are happy to be back at work full-time because it allows them more time with their students.
All the teachers expected us to do the same amount of work without actually having the days for a lecture, and so we would be tested on something that we never went over and we never really had the opportunity to ask questions.
Chico State officials realized no one liked the move, but it saved the school $10 million.
They weren't that popular. We're looking at other ways to try and save money, and we're waiting on a budget. So for now, no furloughs.
One of the ways the school is avoiding furloughs in 2010 is by reducing enrollment, which teachers say has reduced stress in the classroom.
I haven't seen nearly the desperation among students to get into over-enrolled classes. And so it's been a little bit easier. I'm not sure if that's because of the elimination of furloughs or because of the reduction in the number of students.
While most people are happy the furloughs are gone, some students say they will miss the extra days off that help them catch up on classwork.
Kind of sad because it's something to look forward to, and you know, it's kind of nice having that day off every now and then, like unexpectedly.
In Chico, Brian Callahan, Action News.
The governor and legislature have promised to keep funding in place for higher education, but CSU officials say they still have to wait until the budget passes to make any final decisions. Well, despite the uncertainty in the state budget, the CSU system has extended its application period for spring 2011. The application deadline was originally scheduled to close yesterday, but it's been extended to September 27th. Despite the extension, CSU officials say they will still have to wait for the state budget to determine if they will be able to admit any new students. More than 30,000 students are typically accepted each spring. Spring admissions were closed because of budget cuts last year.
Local businesses are teaming up to help improve attendance at high schools in Butte and Glenn counties. Chico Nissan has agreed to give away a brand new Nissan Versa to one lucky student at the end of the school year. Students who have at least a 2.5 GPA, attend 96% of all school days, and have no suspensions will be eligible for a drawing for that car. Sponsors of the incentive program say they want to have a positive impact on the education of local students.
If it makes kids behave a little bit better, come to school a little more often, and work a little bit harder, it's going to be worth its weight in gold.
That's the reason we're doing it, because we want to make a difference, and you got to try.
Other local businesses have also donated 2 iPads, 3 flat-screen TVs, 3 laptops, and 5 $1,000 scholarships to be given away at the drawing sometime in early May.